Hail! I give thanks to you wherever you are as you join me to embark on this musical journey through time to honor our ancestors, specifically the Right Excellent General Bussa and his army, who laid down their lives for freedom and justice to liberate Barbados from the fangs of the dehumanizing experience of slavery. This journey embodies an apology from me to Bussa and the freedom fighters on behalf of the enslaved from Mount Wilton plantation, who due to their own reasons, we could only imagine the trauma which they would have experienced as enslaved persons on the plantation. We can only imagine the physical and mental threats they would have experienced in order not to participate in the 1816 rebellion. Their apology through me commences a necessary and vital healing process which needs to take place in Barbados to rid and purge our national psyche from the legacy of the brutality that was unleashed on our ancestors during the vicious period of slavery in Barbados, which was considered to have been the most inhumane in Europe's so-called New World. Even though we do not acknowledge this, we have inherited the source of that pain which is embedded within our beings. This special music documentary captures the apology, a poem augmented in the form of a music video, and performances from the Bussa Lives Concert featuring me with the Rare Emergence Band, the Israel Level Foundation dancers, Rhythm Tribe, and Dance in Africa. The concert was in essence a celebration of the healing which has taken place between the founders of the Rock Hall Freedom Village and the martyrs of the 1816 rebellion. To create this video, the music video and the live recordings of the concert were augmented by insertions from three of the island's foremost intellectuals and activists. They are Professor Pedro Welts, head of the Reparations Task Force, from his speech to start the Bussa Lives Concert, and from the Bussa I'm Sorry CBC TV documentary, excerpts from David Commission, the director of the Clement Payne Center, and Dr. Derek Murray, head of the Commission for Pan-African Affairs. As a result, this three-pronged presentation, which you are about to experience, can be utilized as an educational tool, as is a journey through yourself. It's a journey to bring the history of Barbados, the history of your ancestors, to the fore of national consciousness, in order that we, the children of this legacy, will be healed by eradicating the trauma of slavery from within us. Only then will our true selves, which was subjugated by the social engineering of colonialism, to submerge within ourselves, will gain the freedom to release the light of the universe to the fore of our lives. Ashe.
It was black like the night. The enslaved from all about was fighting with might, freeing up the island from the horror of whites. The revolt like the canes was burning bright. Then a black army appeared on the scene. Bussa he troops felt supreme. But then the army turned the guns and started shooting them, bringing the rebellion to an end.
I'm sorry for the way it turned out. Victory was clear. We never had a doubt, but we just didn't see it coming here. Black soldiers was joining in the fighting, so the pain that came was insane. But deception changing the name of the game. For them was not freedom fighters, but black colonial deceivers. Bussa, I'm sorry.
Yes, General Bussa. I'm sorry. It was black like the night. The enslaved from all about was fighting with might, freeing up the island from the horror of whites. The revolt like the canes was burning bright. But Mount Wilton slaves had put out the flames, even get compensated instead of blame, and taking the money and buy land where the freedom monument now stand.
I'm sorry for the way it turned out. victory was clear. We never had a doubt, but we just didn't see it coming here. Mr. Wilson's slaves was blocking the way, stopping the other slaves from the north from passing, coming to join in the fight. The diversion made them late, helping to seal the fate of the day.
I feel your pain, General Bussa. I feel your anguish, running in desperation, running from the deception. Yeah, it was hard to take. I feel the shot that pierced your body, bring the rebellion to an end. But they only send your spirit into ancestry, waiting in the Freedom Monument to invoke after the apology. Out of this burning rubble, a new day has risen. Samuel Jackman rose from the struggle. Embedded in the monument is Bussa spirit, waiting for the moment to awaken. Dumbading Bussa spirit lives. Dumbading dagger, dagger ding. Dumbading Bussa, 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 Bussa spirit. His spirit is, his spirit is, his spirit is. Dig it, dumbading Bussa, dumbading Bussa, Bussa spirit is. Dumbading bugger, ding a ding, Bussa spirit is.
I am sure if you haven't heard it yet, you probably will. Bussa is dead. This is 200 years now. All the people at Mount Wilton are dead. What is the point of apologizing?
Well, the point of apologizing is that, first of all, we are spiritual people. And the apology is not just for physical, living persons. It's also an apology to our ancestors. It's an apology, as was alluded to in the beginning, for the complexity of the battles, the choices that had to be made, the loss of the battle, but also it's an apology for us not recalling, remembering, acknowledging, and facing with seriousness the sacrifices that were made. You know, I should paint a picture for you of what Barbados was like just before the rebellion. This is 1814, 1815, 1816. Black Barbadians, even though they were enslaved, felt that they owned Barbados. And the whites said so. Black Barbadians, there was a renaissance going on. There was a cultural and economic renaissance with the enslaved people, even though they were enslaved. There were 77,000 blacks to 16,000 whites. So it wasn't like the whites dominated in terms of numbers. It was like today you see a few whites here and there. Blacks had a life of their own on the plantations, and they were having religious feasts, religious plays and so on just before the rebellion. And the whites were saying, well, these enslaved Africans, these slaves are becoming arrogant and they think they own the island. And then there was the rebellion. The irony of the rebellion is that after the rebellion, after 1816, whereas the whites might have been complacent in Barbados because we had not had a disturbance or a plot since 1701, every possible force of control was applied. And therefore we are now suffering the results of a failed rebellion in 1816, because it was then decided that everything African, anything that could empower Africans and black people had to be demonized, outlawed, restricted, oppressed, if possible, wiped from history.
Rebellion within the context of a slave society carries with it those who are victors and those who are casualties. General Bussa and his troops paid the ultimate price, the sacrifice of their lives, in an attempt to bring freedom to people of African descent, people who have been born in Africa in this country, Barbados. Unfortunately, in every battle, they said there are also casualties, quite apart from those who are victors their casualties. Sir Hilary Beckles, in his book Centering Women, which is a look at women and slave resistance in Barbados, makes the point that enslaved people resisted when they could and accommodated when they had to. Given the central theme of tonight's celebration and activity, we have to remember that we are speaking of events for which we were not present. And in that context, we have to understand a bit about what our forefathers were encountering. Let us roll back the years and step back in time. Let me, for example, refer to an enslaved man called Sharper. That was the name given to him. And in 1764, in Bridgetown, in a place called Back Church Street, which is near what we now call Suttle Street, Sharper was taken in that location and tied to a stake. When they tied him to a stake, they then, according to the governor's private secretary of September 17, 1764, according to that private secretary's report, they cut off his privy members. I do not have to detail to you what cutting off privy members meant. Then they burnt his privy members before his eyes. And it's only after they had done that that they then began to burn him from his extremities until he died. That is Sharper. In order to ram home the effect that they wanted to ram home, the governor and his party asked for the soldiers to surround that location. And they insisted that every enslaved person who lived in Bridgetown was to come out and to witness what was happening. The intent was clear. What they were saying to every man, and also by extension every woman who gathered to see the event, was, if you try any aspect of resistance, this is what we will do to you. That is Sharper. Many of us will not be aware of an enslaved man called Tony. Tony, in the 1675 rebellion in Barbados, he is captured along with some of his people. And what happens is that they're sentenced to be burned at the stake. He is standing there waiting for that execution to take place when it becomes clear that one of his comrades in the battle is about to break. So Tony admonishes him not to let the enslavers win a victory, a moral victory, an emotional victory. And he advised him to stand firm. That helped that man to stand firm. Wherein at that time one of the enslavers said to Tony that they were going to fry him. And Tony responded, if they roast me today, they can't roast me tomorrow. Tony was clearly someone with backbone, what some people call intestinal fortitude. Tony represents one side of the coin. Sharper represents another side of the coin. For every liberator, for every one who made the ultimate sacrifice, there were those who, as Sir Hilary Beckles said, accommodated to the system. Let us not sit so much in judgment, but in reflection to understand what they were going through. We are not present to understand fully the psychology of oppression. What we can say to you is that we must celebrate those who paid the ultimate price. We must celebrate the General Bussas. We must celebrate the Nanny Griggs. We must celebrate the various other persons. I have in my possession at home several lists of enslaved on the various plantations. I know them by name. There are several Bussos or Bussos. There were several enslaved persons with Ghanaian or Akan names who spoke the Twi language. There were several enslaved people who came from the area of Nigeria, of modern-day Nigeria. Some of them were Hausa for northern Nigeria. some of them, some who were Igbo, who are in those lists. And we see them by the names that they were given, the names that continue to survive, notwithstanding the element of enslavement. So against that background, it is my pleasure to express on behalf of the Minister our appreciation for the Commission of Pan-African Affairs and its director and the others of the National Cultural Foundation and the other groups which have joined together to bring this event to our attention. By the time we have come to the end of this event, it is my expectation that we will develop a greater consciousness of where our forefathers were. We must be able to stand and express in Yoruba to them, Adupe or Eshe to them. We must stand and let the ancestors know that we honor their presence. We honor their success. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, let us honor those who have passed on before by our commitment to the task. As chairman of the Reparations Task Force, and I know that some of our members are here tonight, I wish to say to you, we are pledged to continue the struggle.
We pay homage to the owner of today. Mojuba Bogbowano Lodo Ara Room in Belese Olodu Mare. We pay homage to those who have crossed the river and now sit at the feet of God. Mojuba Bogbo Egun. To our ancestors who participated in and died in the war of the Right Excellent General Bussa. Bussa the Ranger of Belize, Ibaye. Mingo the High Priest of Baidmil, Ibaye. Nanny Grigg the Domestic of Simmons, Ibaye. King Wilcher the Carpenter of Belize, Ibaye. Dick Bailey the Mason of Belize, Ibaye. Johnny the Standard Bearer of Belize, Ibaye. Johnny the Cooper of Belize, Ibaye. John the Ranger of Belize, Ibaye. Charles the Driver of Sandyfords, Ibaye. Dainty of Maps, Ibaye. Davy of Palmers, Ibaye. William the Driver of Palmers, Ibaye. Sandy Waterman the Driver of Fisher Pond, Ibaye. Jackie the Driver of Simmons, Ibaye. John the Ranger of Simmons, Ibaye. Will the Ranger of Nightingale, Ibaye. John Barnes, the driver of Gittings, Ibaye. King William, the driver of Sunbury, Ibaye. Will Green, the driver of Congo Road, Ibaye. Prince William, the driver of Grove, Ibaye. Toby, the driver of Chapel, Ibaye. Little Sambo of Adventure, Ibaye. Baye to Nu. To our ancestors of Mount Wilton who founded this first free village. Anthony Allen, Ibaye. Edward Beard, Ibaye. Thomas Bledman, Ibaye. Edward Carmichael, Ibaye. James Carrington, Ibaye. Stella Clark, Ibaye. Farrier Clark, Ibaye. Thomas Clark, Ibaye. John Coltrose, Ibaye. Bella Conleaf, Ibaye. Philip Dormant, Ibaye. Robert Downs, Ibaye. John Drayton, Ibaye. Richard Durant, Ibaye. Adam Gaskin, Ibaye. Isaac Grimes, Ibaye. Corridon Headley, Ibaye. James Jackson, Ibaye. Prince Jones, Ibaye. Joseph King, Ibaye. John Curtin, Ibaye. Sammy Lashley, Ibaye. Edward Lewis, Ibaye. James Lynch, Ibaye. George Maynard, Ibaye. Richard Murphy, Ibaye. Edward Pinder, Ibaye. Juba Rollins, Ibaye. John Seal, Ibaye. Edward Shockness, Ibaye. Greg Thorpe, Ibaye. James Trotman, Ibaye. Henry Warner, Ibaye. James Wilson, Ibaye. Alexander Worrell, Ibaye. Mujiba Bogbo Egun, Ibaye Bayi Tunu. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Raise your hands and say, clap your hands.
Garvey was a conscious man when he went to the USA. The superpower had a racist face, so he caused it much disgrace. Then house slaves rise from nowhere and carry them undermine. Them packy back on a boat and lick down the Black Star Line. What? Them lick down the Black Star Line. What? Them lick down the Black Star Line. And the Garvey men that stopped behind get put in the White House jail. The yours was white, it must not change, it had to remain the same. So master shout out loud and clear, black man must not be conscious again. Conscious again, conscious again. You see the black woman must not be conscious again. Conscious again, conscious again. So lift your hand, raise your hands to the Most High. Look within, for his kingdom draw its nigh. Mount Zion is the home of nature man, the holy destination of all of Jah children. Across the world, black power now was claimed. Mandela did it in South Africa. He showed them that freedom was the name of the game. It was the old colonial way, tradition and thing, toilets for blacks and liberty there in New York City with a torch in she hand and she guarding ever there. Then Luther came to change this thing, determined how to win. So he boycott this, boycott that, boycott master wish. That the black man must not be conscious again. Conscious again, conscious again. You see the black woman must not be conscious again. Conscious again, conscious again. So lift your hand, raise your hand to the Most High. Look within, his kingdom draw its nigh. Mount Zion is the home of the nature man, the holy destination of all of Jah children. Ancestors were there and pray. The voodoo chant, the dancing loud and come back in art today. So clever, he wrote on reggae form, Marty Shon and the shine gold like a bus. Shine gold like a bus. Shine gold like a bus storm. But the voodoo chant didn't stop in art cause we history was down in hell. So life was sent for Malcolm X. The up and down to all that blind them tell. Now in New York Rose, Elijah, Jamaica, I Rasta. While master trend black man now, conscious again, you see the black woman now. Conscious again, you see the black man now. Conscious again, you see the black woman now. Conscious again, you see we conscious. I say we conscious again. I say we conscious again. I say we conscious again. Just bring down for me. Yeah. Tonight, it's about being conscious. About unchaining your brain from the deceptions of colonialism. Healing from the pain of slavery. And freeing our spirit. And bring that light and let it shine through all the world. It's about being conscious. So I want you to sing for me. Conscious again. Conscious again. You got that? Hold it. Shh. Can't hear the people out there at all. Anybody out there? Anybody out there? So I want you here. Conscious again. What? Can't hear you. Dong ba ding. Dong ba dung dong. Dong ba ding dong ding ding ding. Dong ba ding ding. Dong ba ding dong. Dong ba ding. What? Can't hear you. Conscious again. Conscious again. I say we conscious again. Conscious. I say we conscious. I say we conscious. I say we conscious. I say we conscious again. I say we conscious again. I say we conscious. I say we conscious.
We need to apologize because we need to do honor to the sacrifice that Bussa and his fellow revolutionaries made for us, because they were willing to give their lives so that future generations of African people in Barbados would not live in slavery. And we need to understand that that sacrifice was not in vain, because the Bussa rebellion came at a very critical time. It was the first major rebellion in the 19th century after the abolition of the slave trade in 1807. So it was the first rebellion that shook up once again that slavery system. And because it was coming from Barbados, which was seen as the bastion of white British supremacy, it really sent a shockwave through the political establishments, not only in Barbados, but in England. And after the Bussa Rebellion, all the talk coming from the governor, the colonial office, the British Parliament, was that the situation of the planter class in the colonies was no longer viable. That it was not a question of rebellion if slavery is in place. It was a question that there would be rebellions until slavery is abolished. The Bussa Rebellion had made that point clear. And then in 1823, as if to emphasize the point, the enslaved in Demerara rose up. And then in 1831, the baton was handed to Jamaica. The enslaved in Jamaica rose up. So by the time the British government came to pass the Emancipation Act in 1833, what the Secretary of State was saying was that it had now become clear after the Bussa Rebellion, the Demerara Rebellion, the Jamaica Rebellion, that if they did not abolish slavery from above, that the enslaved would abolish it from below through a revolutionary upsurge. And so we are the beneficiaries of that struggle. The fact that we have a nation today, you can't have a nation if 3/4 of the people are in a situation of slavery. The fact that we have a nation today is one of the end products of that sacrifice made by Bussa and his fellow revolutionaries. So the extent to which we have not paid enough honor to that, we have not paid enough respect to that extent we are disrespecting that sacrifice. And therefore we need to apologize.
Remember, this is not a show, this is about you. Let me hear that. Don't put me here in them old time days or all through the years and keep we down as slaves. I want to say that slavery done, the Babylon system come. So from Soweto to the West Indies, from Brazil fall. And when I look in Atlanta, and when I look in Australia, and when I look in the crumble of the Berlin Wall, I see the help coming for the black man there at all. The help coming for the black man there at all. But I could hear, I could hear, I could hear, I could hear. I hear black distant voice down in the ghetto and it's chanting and it's singing. I hear black distant voice down in the black diaspora and it's chanting.
Get up, black man, and dance. Get in the power. Get in the power. This your chance. Get up, black man. Get up, black man, and dance. Get in the power. Get in the power. This your chance.
Of your cities, coke and smoke fill the air and burn up on a White House fire. AG dream of Martin Luther, and as the stank black smoke rise and fall, I see a spirit standing tall, dressed their soul in ice, gold, black and green. The ghosts of Garvey standing still. This is the will of the ancestors, but then voices won't be heard until the black man open the eyes and fight. That's Babylon system tonight. What? That's Babylon system tonight. What? That's Babylon system tonight. Cause I could hear, I could hear. I hear black distant voice down in the ghetto and it's chanting and it's singing. I hear black distant voice down in the black diaspora and it's chanting.
Get up, black man. Get up, black man, and dance. Get in the power. Get in the power. It's your chance. Get up, black man. Get up, black man, and dance. Get in the power. Get in the power. It's your chance.
What you ain't do, you ain't Colombian, a slave and stool. Divide and rule, working today so the West Indies split apart. Civil rights movement forward start. Brixton now, a museum of art. And when I look at the motherland, all I see is school, hunger, frustration. But when I look at this world plan, all I see is destruction for the black man, destruction for the black woman. I say, all I see, what? Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, free yourself. I say, get up, black man, get in the power, get in the power, get in the power, get in the power. Shake, 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 black man and dance. Shake the power, shake the power, shake your chest, get up, black man, get up, black man and dance. Get in the power, get in the power, this your chance, get up, black man. Get a black man and dance. Get in the power. Get in the power. It's your chance. Get a black man. Get a black man and dance. Get in the power. Get in the power. It's your chance.
I'm sure you have analyzed this within your own mind, David, as to why after 50 years of independence and 200 years after this rebellion, we still have not come to terms as a nation with its significance. Give us your analysis of this psychological factor.
I think that we are a post-colonial society more than a truly independent society. I think that we have overlooked the fact that when we achieved formal political independence in 1966, what we had achieved really was, a new formal definition, political and legal definition of our society, but that we were still very much under the influence of a deeply rooted colonial culture and colonial sensibility. And I think that we have not been deliberate and self-conscious enough in setting out to root up and eradicate that colonial psychological and culture complex.
The time has come to free ourselves fast. 300 years, the chains couldn't last. The doors are open, pointing to the path. Come on in, let Jah take a stand. The crossing was a life of much pain, but who to blame if our minds are still chained? For we are all the sons of man. Come on now, and Jah take a stand. You got to let it go, you got to leave this world behind. You got to let it go, you got to free up, free up, free up, free up, free up, free up. Ethiopia stretched forth she hand. Look within, it's we in her plans. For we are all the son of man. Come on now, and let Jah take a stand. But this world is doomed. Leave it now, or you will pay the cost. It's not ours, in it we were tossed. Bring down the power, and let Jah be the boss. You got to let go. You got to leave this world behind. You got to let go, you got to free up, free up, free up, free up, free up, free up. To Jericho, the black man fell. No, don't know, even himself can't remember what to tell. Forget his culture to live in hell. But only we can save Mother Earth. For life came with our natural birth. For history shows that we are the first. So let me rid this world of its human curse. We got to, you got to let it go, you got to, you got to free this world behind. You got to let go, you got to free up, free up, free up, free up, free up, free up, free up. You got to let go, you got to free up. Let me see your hands in the air. Let me see your hand in the air. Free up. Put your hand in the air. Free up, free up, free up, free up. Let me see you. I sing along with you, good. Free up. Free up. Yeah, hear you. Yeah, hear you. Free up. You got to free up. 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 You got to let go. Free up. You got to leave this world behind. Free up. You got to let go. You got free up. Free up.
There are arguments and debates over who the real leader was. I believe that most of the evidence points to Bussa being the leader. But there was always, in rebellions across the Caribbean, from the earliest rebellions in the 17th century, up until 1831 in Jamaica, there were, for every leader of the rebellion, there was an African spiritual sage who advised and who assisted in constructing secret societies for the rebellion. The evidence is more explicit in Jamaica and Antigua, for example, where every time you're going to construct or or plan a rebellion, you necessarily need to construct a secret society. Because if you're planning a rebellion, those who are involved should be initiated, so they keep the secret. And African spiritual work was done for that. Now I'm saying African spiritual work as another way of saying Obe, because Obe is already demonized by the planters, and they demonized it because they found that in Jamaica and other places, every rebellion and every plot had an Obe man at the center who was responsible for reminding the enslaved Africans who they were and that they were supposed to be free. Because we could easily fall into the we could easily become complacent. We could become accustomed to our enslavement. And the role of the Obe priest and sage was to remind the community we are not supposed to be slaves. And they were the ones who were at the side of every leader, whether it was Samuel Sharp in Jamaica, Bussa here in Barbados. In Barbados, I am fairly certain that that role was played by Mingo, who was one of the leaders identified in the rebellion.
If you care enough for the living, just make a better place for you and for me. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, just make a better place for you and for me.
The history of man is one of war and plunder. Nation fight against nation to conquer. Race rise up against race, religions misplaced. The spirit of Jah without a trace. There is too much hate on Mother Earth, too much war on Mother Earth today. There is too much war on Mother Earth. Unite to make the world better today. Let we hold hands with our brother man. Let peace on earth be the world plan. For we all must live as one, as one, as one, as one. The nation rise to claim control over sea and land. In the name of kings and queens, it was planned to split the world wide, leaving poor people lives a daily struggle to survive. There is too much strife on Mother Earth, too much hate on Mother Earth today. There is too much war on Mother Earth. Unite to make the world better today. Let me hold hands with our brother man. Let peace on earth be the world plan. For we all must live as one, as one, as one, as one. When will this stop? When will the selfish attitudes of man be wished away? When will the malice in his heart vanish into thin air? Or will man instead disappear in despair. Marley to tear down the things that he created. Are humans civilized when they spread a hate? Can we all live as one for all them wars to done, making sure that love has won? There is too much hate on Mother Earth, too much strife on Mother Earth today. There is too much war on Mother Earth, too much strife on Mother Earth. Let me hold hands with our brother man. Let peace on earth be the word plan. For we all must live as one, as one, as one, as one. No, I told you at the start, this is not me performing, this is not a performance. This is a celebration for the ancestors. The Freedom Monument is a monument for the ancestors. And right now, a spiritual vibe is going to play right now. Right now, 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 right now. Here at the Freedom Monument, at that base, at the former enslaved at Mount Wilton, including my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather and grandmother Tracy. You already got these sequence right. And a few weeks ago, a vibration played here, where Bussa and his army linked here with these vibes and said the apology has been accepted. We have been freed from the physical. We are now in the spiritual realm and we are one. Yeah, we are one. So the spiritual healing amongst we as a people ain't just start from tonight. It started weeks ago. This is now a manifestation of something that already happened. But it's for you now, as its great-grandchildren, to unite. You already free your brain. You already get conscious. You get up and dance. Black man, get in the power. So as a symbol of that unity, the transformation that this monument is doing in the consciousness of you right here, that's going to spread across Barbados, across the Caribbean Sea, to the islands, to every slave society of this so-called new world. This vibration got to felt here now from Ross and Thomas. And it's starting with you. So this is our word. Let we hold hands. Let we hold hands. As a symbol, a symbol, a symbol. And think about this holding hand, the chain ain't to be broken. So the chain got to unite. So nobody can be out there holding hands and then part of the chain. So let me form the chain. In the deck, you got to form the chain, and the chain got to link to somebody in there. So let me move. If you ain't doing it, I stop in here to 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. So you better do it, because we ain't moving from this chord. Lori, what that chord is that you playing? What the chord is? You playing multiple chords. But we ain't moving from them multiple chords until I see a united chain. Because we ain't come here to make sport tonight. If you don't honor your ancestors and you don't treat them with respect, the good things will not happen to you. And all the negativity talking about wrong Barbados, the ancestors there watching you say, you know something, you forget about we. You forget about we now. You forget about we. You forget about we now. So come on. Unite. Unite. Remember, the chain got to form with the deck. Or not, it's a broken chain. You know when a chain weak, what's happened? My mom got codes around here. Every chain weak, the codes run all about the place. So come on. Yeah. Let me unite. The people around the monument, I see a broken chain there, look. The sister in the green shirt. Hold hands. And man, there got your hand full. Hold something. We ain't making a sport of here. Hold hands. I tell you, I am moving from these multiple chords. Till I feel that chain, till I feel the energy. Until the ancestors tell me, the celebration start, we can't move. We can't move. Yeah. You cheer for me? Shh. You cheer for me? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. And this is what I want you to do for me now. You can do it loudly, or you can do it to yourself. I want you to remember your biological ancestors who passed. Whether your mother, your father, your aunt, your grandfather, your great aunt, your great... Just if you remember them by name, you can call them out loud or call it silently. But this is about you paying homage now to those who created you while you are here. You look like them, you get on like them. And the DNA down inside of you. So I give you, how much courage may you get them to do that? Play something to signify, call your ancestors. Yeah, there we go, that's it. You want to sing something? A cool or something to symbolize it. Yeah. Call the names, people. Call out the names. Call the names. Remember who created you. Your mother, your father, your grandmother, your great uncle, whoever, your great grand. Even if you lose a child, call that name. Yeah. Let me feel it. 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 Let me live as one. You got to live as one. You got to live as one. You got to live. Thank you very much, people. Thank you. 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 Thank you.
It is the type of work that we need for our students, for ordinary people, for teachers, to have that is accessible. So it's an accessible history that he has produced that I think is important for our ongoing consciousness. To the question as to why we have not taken it as seriously as we should. Part of the reason is the history that we have been told. A major part of the project after the Bussa Rebellion was to ensure that it never happens again. And having already established that we can't, by military means alone, prevent it from happening again, then the forces that were in power, the planters, the white planters, ensured that control was that every control was made through different forces. So for example, the missionaries went to work to make sure that in terms of spirituality and religion, we did not become too aware of ourselves and our history. The educators went to work. So it's a question of 100 years of control.
There's a serious problem with the education system in Barbados. We forget it was the British educational system that got implanted here after the emancipation. With the line, and you read it, go in the library and see it, the implementation of the British education system in the West Indies. Instead, we have to control the minds of these newly freed slaves. I ain't say so in the book. Right, so right now we got a generation of young people who don't know who they are. They ain't got no identity with themselves. They ain't know the history. They ain't got no pride in who they are and understand the struggle of those ancestors who paved the way for them. So they're like a boat without a sail and a rudder, adopting every negative social habit from all about the place, every ghetto in New York and all about the place. So we got to look after the children. So I'm glad that these youths here the parents that bring these youths out. Because I said on the radio, bring the youths. Give a hand to the parents who bring youths here today. And I put a note. I know one minister's here. So, Mr. Blackie, I know you're the Minister of Education, but you represent the cabinet here tonight. I putting that on you, right? We got to look at this education system. All the social ills happening in society from crime lead back to education. What is being taught, what is being put into the minds. We got to overhaul. After 50 years of independence, we still following. We see that every great society in the world, every great country know the history, but not we. We got to do something about that. So this is for the children. We got to light the candle for the children tonight. Of the earth, and humanity is a curse. There are millions of starving children. For politics they are dying. So tell me, where is the justice? Who to blame? Where the accomplice that suffers so many children to die? Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Feet stumble on the ground that parch, moving to the death march. The best feet of some mother child that know that it ain't die. I can see the pain in his eyes, hear silence in his cry, as two men play with millions of lives. Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. So light the candle for the children, light the candle for hope, light the candle for the child at birth, future of Mother Earth. Light the candle for the children, light the candle for peace, light the candle and put in your heart, light shine right through the dark. Light the candle now, light the candle now. Light the candle now. Light the candle now. Light it. I'm also grown in Soweto for the children and Steve Biko. As apartheid in Pretoria, in prison freedom in Africa. And when I look, I see the children still not free of hunger, drought, disease and strife. Tell me why. Tell me why, tell me why. A Palestinian child doomed when it enter life. It ain't grow up to be a refugee in the land that belong to he. And the Israeli army toys is run down Islamic boys, shoot and kill them for throwing stones, eh? Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. So light the candle for the children, light the candle for hope. Light the candle for the child of birth, future on Mother Earth. Light the candle for the children, light the candle for peace. Light the candle and put in your heart, light shine right through the dark. Light the candle now. Light the candle now. Light the candle now. Light the candle now. Light it. On the ground, in the streets of South American towns, and in them big cities, children live in poverty, they're abused, love for them is refused, and worthless men rape children, scaring them for life. Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. When you destroy the child, you destroy the future, right? Shh. Do you know that? Hello? Can't hear nobody out there at all. Do you know when you destroy the child, you destroy the future, right? So you know if the future ain't got no consciousness in the head, if the children ain't got no consciousness in the head, if the children ain't got no consciousness, if the children ain't got no I want you to answer for me. I ain't saying anymore. If the children ain't got no consciousness, what happened? Shh. What happened with the future? It's done, gone. But at the fountain of creation, Jah look and cry. Knowing that when man destroy the child, he destroy the root of life. But Jah children will rise one day and man will have to pay. But why this have to come to be, eh? Why this have to come to be, eh? Why this have to come to be, eh? Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. So light a candle for the children, light a candle for hope, light a candle for the child at birth, future on Mother Earth. Light a candle for the children, light a candle for peace, light a candle and put in your heart and shine right through the dark. Light it, light a candle now, light a candle now, light a candle now, light a candle now, light it, light it, light it. Banana man with the cutlass in the hand, sweating on the road in the rain. And she sees her for hurricane, the rooster licking a hand a day with pain. He child is nine, but she ain't so fine, but in town with she mother ain't cash free selling. Competing with she mother and she says stop. Looking for $1, wait a minute people so he get what he get for the house to get back. The banana man, the banana man, the banana man with the cutlass in the hand. The banana man, the banana man, the banana man. Banana man with the cutlass in the hand, struggling upon little islands, climbing hills of economic starvation created by we politicians. And he working and he sweating and the rain falling and the mist descending, the cold and the coughing, but the transporting coming, so he cold in the coffin, covered down with mold, down in the hole of the old ancestors living there. Then walks experience continuing the suffering and the struggling. I said the banana man, the banana man, the banana man with the cutlass in the hand, banana man, the banana man with the hand in the hand. Mr. Ziggy Walker on pan, Nori Reller on keyboards. Give it up. And this is the life of the Caribbean man, born and dead on these islands, run by Afro-Saxons, cause education make them politicians. But now they just don't care, but soon it pay, cause the banana man still walk alone in slave trade days. But he walk alone the days with the cutlass in the hand. Banana man soon take a firm stand. Banana man, banana man, the banana man soon rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up with the hand in the hand, and unite, unite, unite the Caribbean. What? Unite the Caribbean. What? Unite the Caribbean. I say one Caribbean. 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 Caribbean. What? One. Keep that vocals. One Caribbean. So this is what we're going to do. We get through the islands and unite the Caribbean. I want to see the day come, right? When there's one passport for all of it in the Caribbean. Not Barbados passport, St. Vincent got a passport. And when you get here at the airport, Granny Island, the one know how long you come for and all that stuff. When I get to St. Lucia or St. Vincent, I don't want to ask me how much days I spend. I want one passport for all the Caribbean people. I want one currency. I want one of everything. For all of we can cross from Africa together. So no more, no more, no more, no more Bahamas, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Haiti, DR, St. Kitts, Antigua, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Dominica, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent, Grenada, Tobago, Trinidad, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, but one Caribbean. What? One Caribbean. I'm here, shout it. One Caribbean. If you believe this or not me, I want you to shout it for me and all. One Caribbean. What? One Caribbean. 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 I say a banana, banana, banana. I say the banana, banana, banana. I say the banana, one Caribbean, 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 one Caribbean. One Caribbean.
I would first like to thank Adisa for having the consciousness to produce a work like this. He's apologizing to Bussa, and I think he's apologizing on behalf of all Barbadians, because in many respects we do need to apologize to Bussa. You know, last year, or this year that we're in, is the bicentenary year of the Bussa Rebellion. And while it is true that we did a couple things to commemorate it, we had that beautiful theatrical event at Golden Grove Plantation that was done under the auspices of the National Cultural Foundation. But this very critical 200-year commemoration was given nowhere near the prominence that, for example, the 50th anniversary of Barbados' independence was given. You know, the 50th anniversary of independence was really highlighted. We counted down for a full year. No such importance or respect was attached to the Bussa bicentenary. And I really regret this, because if truth be told, the fundamental root of the nation of Barbados lies in the Bussa Rebellion. The Bussa, in terms of the forging of a nation, the Bussa Rebellion is more critical than anything that happened on the 30th of November 1966. Errol Barrow may be the father of independence, but if the nation has a father, that has to be General Bussa. And if the nation has a mother, that has to be Nanny Craig, who really should have been made a national heroine of Barbados. So why I am ad idem with AJA is because we Barbadians, our people, our government, our institutions, we have not taken Bussa seriously enough. We have not taken the Bussa Rebellion seriously enough, in spite of the fact that Bussa has been made a national hero.
Now the moment has come for the official apology. You hear who ain't hear it? It got a little airplay on internet. The music video was launched on Wednesday. Yeah, give thanks. Now this is officially with you, not just me, telling Bussa I'm sorry. And they saying here, and they got this line from David Commission, who is here. David Commission on the TV show that's showing tomorrow night. He said that Bussa has become, Bussa is the central figure in the history of Barbados. The man and his troops laid down their lives for us. They knew they couldn't win. Probably the balance of forces was against them. But they said, no, I got to do this for the children to come. And we came down this road all the time, we didn't even recognize any man. His spirit's still here waiting. And it's only now, at this very moment, where we as a people of the nation and tell this General Bussa, the Right Excellent Bussa, that we are sorry. And Kiamal, I want to invite Kiamal. This man is central to this song. One of the finest voices in Barbados.
Bussa, I'm sorry. Bussa, I'm sorry. Bussa, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Bussa, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
As it was black in the night, the enslaved from all about was fighting with might. Freeing up the island from the home of whites, the revolt and the kings was burning bright. Another black army appeared upon the scene, but saying the troops felt supreme. But then the army turned the gun and started shooting them, bringing the rebellion to an end.
I'm sorry for the way it turned out. Victory was clear. We never had a doubt, but we just didn't see it coming here. Black soldiers was joining in the fighting, so the pain that came was insane. A deception changing the name of the game, but them was not freedom fighters, but black colonial deceivers. Bussa, I'm sorry.
Yeah, General Bussa, I'm sorry.
Bussa, I'm sorry. Bussa, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Bussa,
I'm so
sorry.
sorry. Bussa, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Bussa.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It was black in the night. The enslaved from all about was fighting with might. Freeing up the island from the home of whites. Revolt and the kings was burning bright. But my winter slaves got put out the flames. Even get compensated instead of blame. And taking the money and buy land. Ready freedom monument now stand.
I'm sorry for the way it turned out. Victory was clear. We never had a doubt, but we just didn't see it coming here. Mr. Wilton's slaves was blocking the way, stopping the other slaves from the north from passing, coming to join in the fight. Divergence make them late, helping to seal the fate of the dead. Yeah. Bussa, I'm sorry.
I feel your pain. I feel your anguish. Running from the desperation, running from the deception. Yeah, it was hard to take. I feel the bullet that pierced your body, bring the rebellion to end. But the only sign your spirit in the ancestry, greater in the freedom monument to rise after the apology.
Uprise, 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 uprise.
Out of this burning rebel, a new day has risen. Samuel Jackman rose from the rebel.
Uprise, 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 uprise.
Embedded in monument is Bussa spirit, waiting for the moment to awaken. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit. Ashe, 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 Bussa, 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 Bussa spirit, Bussa spirit, Bussa spirit.
Ashe, Ashe, Bussa, 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 Bussa. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit lives. 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 Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit lives.
In African tradition,
Bussa spirit lives.
a true celebration happens when you start to dance.
Bussa spirit lives.
So right now the ritual ain't happen yet,
Bussa spirit.
because when you're in dancing,
Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit.
the real ritual happens when African people start to dance. Let me dance, let me dance, let me dance, let me dance. I got to see everybody moving. Feel the spirit, feel the energy.
Ashe, Ashe,
Bombadee, bombadee. Don't be, this is not about being ashamed, but you can't dance. It's about letting the spirit of Bussa take control, take control. Ashe, Ashe, bombadee, dugga, 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 bombadee, dugga, dugga, somebody, dugga, spigadoo, bombadee, dugga. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit lives. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit lives. Ashe, Ashe, point to the monument. Bussa spirit. Everybody point to the monument. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit. Point to the monument. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit lives. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit lives. Somebody. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit lives. Somebody. Ashe, 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 Bussa spirit lives.
Would you tie in that monument with the whole story of the people of Mount Milton and
Yes.
their involvement in the Bussa?
Yeah, and when it was discovered at Rock Hall, I think it was in the 70s, it was discovered that Rock Hall was this first free village, and we were living in this Rock Hall for years growing up, and we never knew, right? And I felt therefore that a monument should be placed there, and I did this proposal years ago, and successive governments, and the monument was established there, and it was it was just not to be a monument, it was a monument. I was even thinking about a museum, a slave museum, not just for Barbados, but the entire thing. So it is there, and I feel therefore, and as I said, the thesis within the poem itself, that the monument is a monument representing the ancestors, it's a tribute to the ancestors. In fact, the abstract of the monument speaks to the ancestors, and is a family, African family, a father, mother, and child, looking back across the ocean to Africa. And the concept of the monument was the ravine that is there was the middle passages, and the bridge supposed to go across so that you cross over. Now, we say that physical, we are all spirit, and I feel that the spirit of Mount Milton slaves who created Rock Hall, the spirit of Bussa and his army who fought at Belize and Golden Grove, are all centered around that monument because of the tribute to the ancestors. So when we say that Bussa spirit lives and is invoked within the monument, it's about the now. We are talking here about this discussion because there's a Rock Hall. If there was no Rock Hall, the poem would not have been written. The monument would not be there. The consciousness that is being triggered by this discussion and the poem is about the now, right? And therefore, the monument and Rock Hall embodies that. It's like the monument is the center, energy center now for this consciousness to come to the fore for the now and our children to come. I think the dynamic of Barbados social consciousness has to change, as my two brothers there have been saying. This is the 200th year, and yet the average primary school child don't know about Bussa, the rebellion. We don't know about our history. We're hoping that dynamic change, that the poem and the monument and Rock Hall and Bussa rebellion, the whole process changes that dynamic of consciousness, so that Bussa and those who died as martyrs for our country will not have been in vain. And they are waiting on us. I feel it. They are waiting, and they are celebrating that this event is happening now, that this discussion is happening now. Spiritually, they are waiting. You know.
Let's not go off the monument yet.
Mm-hmm.
When I look at that monument obviously has to be twinned with the Bussa statue.
Mm-hmm.
And that monument to me is also symbolizing human dignity,
mm-hmm.
black dignity, but also human dignity. When I look at the Bussa statue, that statue is symbolizing freedom, the breaking of chains, the breaking of chains that bind specifically black people, but bind any human being. And I think that the importance of all of this for us, the importance of this history for us, the importance of these monuments for us, is that history is saying to us that we as a people, we the Barbadians, the Barbadians, black and otherwise, who live now, that our history has bequeathed to us a mission, a historical mission. What is that mission? If our history is to make any sense, if the sufferings and the sacrifices and the heroism of our ancestors is to make any sense, it is saying that we, of all people in the world, we must be the champions of liberty, of freedom, of human dignity, because that is the ultimate meaning of our history. Our ancestors, of all the people in the world, were subjected to the most horrendous forms of the deprivation of freedom and human dignity, and they fought against it. They resisted it, and they sought to transcend that terrible fate. And so we, who are the beneficiaries of their struggle and their sacrifices, what do we stand for in the world? When people all over the world look at the black people of Barbados, what should they see? They should see people who are standing on the shoulders of that history, and who therefore should self-consciously be that conscious human being that is going to defend and champion these great values of human dignity, black dignity, freedom, and liberty.
The culture come back. The culture come back now. The culture come back. The culture come back now. Time to free up, get on back. Time to wake up, get on back. Time to let go, every time. Time to watch Africa. Jump up and jump up. Everybody jump up and jump up. Africa. Jump up and jump up. Jump up and jump up. We culture. Lego. 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 Lego, Lego, and cheer. Lego, Lego, and cheer. Lego, 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 Lego. Then take my arm, don't lick my down, and bring my long across the ocean. And from this land, the men like mustard, but sing my down from England. So I tell my hat and bow my head. Forget the dance and the white folk got that day. Forget the charms, forget my name, and call my woman a dear. I was licked to the name of the crown, and if from start I was a spark. Could I come back now? Could I come back now? Come back now, come back now, no, I come back now. Come back now, come back now, no, I come back now. Jump up and jump up, and cheer now. Jump up and jump up, Africa. Jump up and jump up, and cheer now. Jump up and jump up, we culture. Lego, 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 Lego. Jump up and jump up, and cheer now. Jump up and jump up, Africa. Jump up and jump up, and cheer now. Jump up and jump up, we culture. Lego, 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 Lego.
let go, let go. And she, let go, let go. Let go, let go. I'm planting plantation, the work was long. Cause I came to these sandals down and I kill my off any cover drum. But I did drink rum, show myself in the rhythm with the mood of the tongue drum. And down my way in cassava bone, mama remember home. Don't jump, don't monkey, I change everything and they make me. Foolish he, them couldn't see. Africa's still in me. Walk across me, basket, selling time in the market.
Come back now, come back now. No, I come back now. Come back now, come back now. No, I come back now.
Jump up and say no. Jump up and jump up, Africa. Jump up and say no. Jump up and jump up, because level. Read the thing, run spring yarding.
Level.
And change the thing in this border.
Jump up and say no.
Jump up and jump up, Africa.
Jump up and jump up
and say no.
Jump up and jump up, big culture. Time to free up, get on back. Time to wake up, get on back. Time to let go, it needs time. Time to unchain Africa.
Jump up
and say no.
Jump up and jump up,
Africa.
jump up and jump up
And say no.
Jump up and jump up,
big culture.
Go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. I want to see all those hands. Let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. I want to thank you very much, people. Let go, let go. On behalf of the ancestors. Let go. Thank you. I want you to recognize the Adria Level Foundation dancers. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. I want you to recognize Riddim Tribe. Let go. 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 Thank you very much. Dancing Africa. Let go. Unchain. Let go. Unchain. Let go. Unchain. Let go. Unchain. Let go. Unchain, Lego, unchain, Lego, unchain, Lego, unchain, Lego, unchain. Dig dig, dump body dum, dig dum dum, dump body dum, dig dig, dump body, dig dig, dump body down. Yeah, this fantastic band of musicians, led by the musical director, keyboard player, Laurie Leon.
Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. Want to recognize these guys here, the excellent musicians. On the vocals, we got Alex Cage. We got Alicia Yard Collins. Keo Mal, ladies and gentlemen. On drums, we got Chad Graves. Bass guitar, Kurt Lane. Hey. On steel pad and percussion, David Ziggy Walker. Also on percussion, we got Sally. Hey. Hey, also inside we got Zach. Our engineer in the tent at the back, we got Ryan Linton, responsible for the lovely sound you're hearing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back to the stage, Aja!
Somebody, unchain, unchain, unchain. Also want to recognize and another man that you'll be touring with me for a long time, Peter Lewis and his team. I know this could not happen without the Commission for Pan-African Affairs. Give them a big hand. And I want to particularly single out their head, Dr. Derek Murray. And he want me to tell you all this, but he had interest in Rahal long time ago. I want to thank the youth service that come and help me clean, because this place was bare bush. I want to thank them too. Jumping, Unchain, 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 unchain. I want to see everybody jumping though. This is the last jump. When I say jump up, I want to see you elevated. I want an elevation. You got me? I want an elevation. You got me? So watch this. 1, 2, jump up, jump up, jump up. Time to free up. Time to free up. Get on back. Jump on back. Time to wake up. Hit the ground. Time to unchain. Africa. Jump up and jump up. Everybody. Jump up and jump up. Africa. Jump up and jump up. Jump up and jump up. Jadisa. Jadisa. Jadisa, I want you to jump up. Let go, let go. 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 Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Let go, let go. Let go, let go. Let go, let go. Let go, let go.